It is obvious that parents, when they realize that the child is disabled, it's a traumatic situation for them, and to accept. I had one case, I'm telling you, I'll just tell you. There was one child, and the mother who is working in Air India, and she had a child, I think premature baby, or some oxygen supply was not enough for the child. The child was visually challenged, and this lady came to me and asked me about how to help the child. I went to her house. The child was 1 year, and she refused to accept the child. She won't even take the child on her lap, or caress the child, or take care or feed the child. It was a mother-in-law who was taking the care of the child, and the husband was very much upset. He used to come and talk to me the problems that the mother wants to commit suicide. She doesn't want to do the child. She just want to give the child for adoption. All sorts of things, ideas the mother had, and it was very difficult for me to counsel the mother. And finally, she tried to accept the child, and the child grew very nicely. The toys were brought for him, and then they took admission in some good school at Santa Cruz. And afterwards, I helped her to get the readers, writers for the child. And today she is so much proud of her child that she is thinking about sending him to States for further education. But in the beginning, it was very difficult for me also, and for the husband, to counsel the mother. So I feel very nice when I meet the child, when he sees he's grown up so well. So that's how it is very difficult for the parents to accept. And then they go shop around the doctors. This doctor, that doctor, the doctor will say you go to this surgeon, the other surgeon will say you go to this doctor, then they go for Ayurvedic treatment and homeopathic treatment, and all sorts of treatments, whatever available exist. And finally they realize that nothing can be done, and say they come to the NGO for the help. It is not only with the blind, but any disabled child. They approach NGO, and then the NGO supports the parents, and NGOs train the parents how to take care of child. I would like to say NAB India, National Association for the Blind, they have a good program, and they train the child, when the children and the parents, when the child is born, I think 6 months, they start training the child. And the parents are shown so many activities, how children can participate in the activities, how children can study, how the children can learn so many activities, and how the future can be shaped for the child. So this is how I think that when the parents, then they themselves, when they see these things, they realize, and I think they try to accept and think about the future, and then try to train the child in their families.